please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please sit down. Pursuant to Section 5, Chapter 231, Public Laws of 1975, this is to state for the record that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided to the public by posting and maintaining the annual notice of the regular meetings on the bulletin board in the municipal building, and by providing a copy of the annual notice of the regular meetings for the year 2016 to the Glen Ridge paper, the Glen Ridge Voice, the Montclair Times, and to the Star Ledger on Tuesday, January 5th, 2016, and by filing said notice in the office of the municipal clerk. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilperson Hughes.
Here.
Vesovitz.
Here.
Leskowitz.
Here.
Dawson.
Here.
Murphy.
Here.
Morrow.
Here.
Mayor Patrick is present. Mr. Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes for the October 11th meeting? I'll move. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Art. Any comments on the minutes? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilperson Hughes.
Aye.
Vesovitz.
Aye.
Leskowitz.
Abstain.
Dawson.
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
5 ayes, 1 abstention, no nays. The motion is carried.
Good. Are there any written communications?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Received notice from New Jersey Transit that there's going to be a hearing to gather information, receive comments from interested parties concerning the Senior Citizens and Disabled Resident Transportation Assistance Act. And the hearing will be held at the New Jersey Transit headquarters in Newark at 2 o'clock on Thursday, November 17th. We have some good news coming up. We have a letter from the State of New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection that the Glen Ridge Borough has been selected as the municipal recipient of the 2016 Green Communities Achievement Award by the New Jersey Forest Service. We received also notice that we were certified as a silver level sustainable New Jersey community. This is the highest level certification offered by the Sustainable New Jersey Group. And then we received notices to Passaic Valley's regulations, and they're going to be having a hearing on Tuesday, December 20th at 9:30 in the headquarters in Newark. And then finally we received notice from the Department of Transportation that we're allowed to proceed with our municipal aid projects. And that concludes correspondence.
Thank you. At this time, we will hear comments from the public. Would anybody like to...
presentation.
You want to do the presentation now?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much. My name is Kathy Weisenberger, and I am a member of the Glen Ridge High School Home and School Association. Thank you for allowing us the time to reintroduce an important fundraising program for our town. Glen Ridge Benefits is smart funding for our schools and our town. Since 2004, Glen Ridge Benefits, a home and school program formerly known as SCRIP, has raised over $150,000 to complete projects at every school, including our most recent donation of $38,000 to the Glen Ridge High School library renovation. The program is simple to use, and anyone who buys food, clothing, or dines at Fitzgerald's or other local eateries can participate. Every time someone purchases a $100 gift card to shop for their favorite groceries or retail store, $5 or more gets donated into the Glen Ridge Benefit Fund. There is no cost to the user for participating, so in essence, it's free money for Glen Ridge. Glen Ridge Benefit's goal is to increase membership to beyond the 50 families that currently take advantage of the program. If we could get 300 Glen Ridge families to take advantage of the program, it could generate $120,000 annually for the school district. Plus, Glen Ridge Benefits is an income stream that we can sustain. For as long as Glen Ridge families continue to shop and eat, Glen Ridge Benefits will generate significant income for years to come. To attract new users, we have created 4 benefit options: Need It Now, Need It Monthly, Go Mobile with the new benefit app, or Shop the Sale, our semi-annual holiday and dads and grads sale. Each option is outlined on our new website, grbenefits.org, and in less than 10 minutes, you can start accruing money for our schools. We also have a team of Glen Ridge residents who are happy to help you get started, and we will be at the train station on Monday, November 7th for a kickoff. event from 5 to 9 p.m. As our tagline says, get it, share it with friends and family, and let's see how much we can achieve together. We thank you for your anticipated support. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kathy. Having been involved with this back in 2004, it is a very effective fundraiser, and I was happy to see it rebranded.
So how does it work? I mean, you get 5% kicked back to...
So it's a one-for-one purchase, so it varies in terms of the percentage that each establishment donates. 5% is the average, but when you shop retail, there are stores like the Gap and Land's End that donate 19%. So if you buy a $100 card, $19 goes directly to Glen's benefit.
Okay.
And you can have them electronically on your phone, or you can have a physical card.
And it's all explained in grbenefits.org?
Yes.
Thanks.
And thanks for the volunteers that volunteer.
Is there anybody else in the public that would like to be heard at this point? Please come forward. Would you give us your name and address? Thanks.
My name is Michael Weinstein. I'm the advocacy chair for the Northern New Jersey affiliate of the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network. I live in Millburn, but I'm reaching out to all of New Jersey to raise awareness about this horrible disease. Pancreatic cancer is now the third leading cause of cancer death in America, surpassing breast cancer this past January, and anticipated to become the second leading cause of cancer death by the year 2020. On behalf of the affiliate, I want to thank you for allowing us this moment to speak. The Pancreatic Cancer Action Network is an organization that provides hope for patients. We have a patient central program which provides patients with a one-on-one opportunity to learn more about the disease and treatment options. Programs including Know Your Tumor, tumor marking, as well as clinical trials if available for individuals. Unfortunately, only 4% nationally take participation in clinical trials, which is an important aspect in leading to a cure for diseases. Excuse me. The 5-year survival rate is at 8%, and it's the only major cancer in single digits, and it's just a very, distressing number to hear. It does not only affect myself, it affects people in the community, friends, neighbors, relatives. I was just at a meeting earlier today, and I gave a presentation, and after the meeting, 3 people came up to me who had recent contact with a family member or friend who has had pancreatic cancer in the recent past. My story, however, is one of hope, as in November I will become an 11-year survivor.
Wow. Good for you.
So I want to thank the council for declaring World Pancreatic Cancer Day, November 17th, in the township. It is an important way to raise awareness, and awareness is how we fight a disease. It helps lead to increased funding, both privately and federally, for funding for research that hopefully will lead to a cure, hopefully in the near future. So again, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Commend your tenacity. Thank you. This is not the first time you've been before.
No, I've been here many times. I believe this
Yes.
is the 7th or possibly 8th.
Keep up the good work.
And
Look
thank
forward to
you
seeing
for
you next year.
inviting me back.
Yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you next year. Is there anyone else that would like to be heard at this time from the public? Public in general? Public in general. Sure. Come on up.
This is right.
There, that's the microphone.
Left.
There you go. There you go.
I'm going to keep my composure here. I just got back from, well, my sighted brother helped me because I wanted to find out why at the east-south corner, well, I crossed the Bloomfield Avenue the other day. I wouldn't do it without the crossing guard. I'm like a child again. I need a crossing guard. And so I was there. I went to the post office, but coming back, the crossing guard was gone. And so here I was at the corner saying, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to cross safely. And I was there for like 5 minutes, whirling my cane around. And I've been blind for 33 years. And I couldn't find the corner. I had no confidence to cross the corner. And so what I did was I yelled, help. Someone got out of their car and led me across the street. And so then someone there led me across Bloomfield Avenue. But this time I was with my brother, and I said, where are those dots? And so you can't feel them through your feet. So I had to bend down. Okay, here are the dots. They give you no orientation. I mean, even if I could feel them, give me no sense of like, okay, confidently walk straight ahead. In fact, if I walked straight ahead, I would have been in the middle of the intersection. Good thing I didn't. So I just yelled, help. So then, anyway, so he walked me across Bloomfield Avenue. I would never walk, like I said, I would never walk across those streets again, unaccompanied. And so he walked me to the library entrance, so I walked in the front, walked to the left, where you walk up those steps. I said, let me walk up these steps to the right. And I walked up those steps. Sure enough, they lead to nowhere. There's just some pavement and then surrounded by grass. So I'm not crazy, but I need my sighted brother there to confirm that I'm not missing something. There's stairs that lead to nowhere. Now, I'm not telling you to do something about it. I just kind of confirming that this is a maze that I'm in. Someone decided that if a blind person walks up those stairs, he's going to get to some pavement, and he's going to try to feel his way around, but there's no way out. You have to go backward.
Which side did you go?
Huh?
Which side?
Left.
The left.
Walk left, up the
because the
stairs.
sidewalk in the back.
I walked right up the stairs.
Yeah, to the left, yeah.
It's
Part
a
of the
dead
original
end.
design of the building.
Huh?
Yeah.
It's a dead end. I guess I'm going to have to learn the world one by one. I mean, it's just a little frustrating.
Yeah.
I mean, someone made a decision to do that. I don't think that was dictated by the Americans with Disabilities the Americans with Disabilities Act. But someone decided, let's not do that because it'll confuse people. No, it wasn't specific. It was just whatever. And the world is more and more of that. It's all over the place, and more I'm depending on. And like the other day, I was walking on Highland Avenue, and there's so many leaves. I'm like, but I'm going to find that curb. I was going to walk around the block, and it's just so vague and impossible for me to travel independently. It's not my town anymore. It's being pulled out from under my feet, and there's nothing can be done. Fortunately, I'm like the good Samaritan. I meet good Samaritans because I need to be rescued more and more. And so I don't want to say do this or do that, because really it's best if you do nothing. If you go back. I actually spoke to the head of the Americans with Disabilities Act, whatever, from New Jersey, and all she said was like, is it not compliant? I'm like, well, maybe it is compliant, but I want to know the thought process that went into destroying these curbs. She actually kind of got offended, because I don't think there is a thought process that went into it. You know, because a child could see that this would be hazardous to a blind person, and yet these laws came through. You know, but to say, you know, that's ridiculous. You wouldn't eliminate curbs that are vital landmarks to a blind person. It's like saying, yeah, it's ridiculous. No one would just put traffic cones on the George Washington Bridge just because they're told to. But apparently people do. They just take orders. They do insane things because someone told them to. And they're assuming someone was watching out for them. And it's actually not true. Especially the farther up the food chain you get, it's like you become politically less and less powerful. And I think I told you last time, a friend of mine, childhood friend of mine, lives in Glen Ridge, that he was working for Senator Torricelli at the time when they put through the Americans with Disabilities Act, and they're patting each other on the back as if there's low-hanging fruit. Just cut the curbs away. And I said to him, I said, was there any thought to what a hazard that would be to blind people? And he was embarrassed. He said, no. Okay, this is a childhood friend of mine. So the idea that assuming, oh, there's low-hanging fruit, all you got to do is that. And he was embarrassed by it, that he wasn't looking out for me. But he's moved on to better things. He's got a high-paying job. He was on a career path. But I'm stuck at home now. And he was embarrassed by it. I don't want to tell anyone to do anything because I think it's just going to be more trouble for me. Like, no one ever made a living by living well enough alone. But it's just it's a tragedy of the modern world. I'm going to tell you, these students, they need jobs. Even if it means destroying things that were done better, they still need whatever. They need their job. They need to destroy things. They need to justify their income. And I'm collateral damage. I don't know what can be done. I don't know.
Thank you. Michael?
Well, I agree with Peter. We're under federal mandate to change the ADA design for all our handicap ramps. And I think one of the problems too is the lineator that Peter's talking about. I was even in New York, I was spending the day walking around. Probably 30-40% of the time they're misplaced, where they send you out into the traffic. So I want to we have to do a transition plan. It's a federal requirement about redoing all our ADA crossings. So we'll look into that matter. And then another thing, and I know Councilperson Sowitz talked about it, we knew the intersections you take the most, Peter, maybe we could work on a texture, crosswalk, something of that nature. I understand because now the design, we have to be totally flat with the concrete apron as it meets the road, so there is no demarcation. If there's maybe something that we could do on limited intersections. And then, just to show how ridiculous, and agree with you, I saw a report in Pennsylvania where they have tens of thousands of aprons, but no sidewalk. There's a federal regulation to have an ADA apron, but no regulation to have sidewalks to connect the aprons. So a lot of the legislation might have been misguided. And trying to achieve one purpose, they actually injure other parties. So I'm attending a conference on November 20th about ADA to see what other communities may have been for the visually impaired and see if there might be a best practice out there that we could incorporate.
I've also come across people who don't like them because they're ugly, and I think, don't blame me, I don't want them either. Yeah. And I mean, there's more wheelchairs or blind people, and blind people in wheelchairs. But, I mean, we're in competition. Suddenly we're in competition. Yeah. And again, with aesthetics as well.
And I've been to conferences where they did talk about this being a problem, that the people who are not ambulatory versus the visually disabled, that we basically came up with a design that really doesn't achieve the purpose for either group. So that's something I'll be talking to colleagues at to see how they might have addressed the problems that you've been bringing to the council meetings. Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Right. Anybody else like to be heard at this time? Okay. Then we'll get to the comments of the mayor. I have a proclamation this evening. Whereas in 2016, an estimated 53,070 people in the United States will be diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, one of the deadliest cancers, and 41,780 will die from the disease. And whereas pancreatic cancer surpassed breast cancer this year, become the third leading cause of cancer death in the United States, and it is projected to become the second leading cause by 2020. And whereas pancreatic cancer is the only major cancer with a 5-year relative survival rate in the single digits at just 8%, and whereas when symptoms of pancreatic cancer present themselves, it is generally in later stages, and 71% of pancreatic cancer patients die within the first year of their diagnosis. And whereas approximately 1,260 deaths will occur in New Jersey in 2016, and whereas pancreatic cancer is the 7th most common cause of cancer-related death in men and women across the world, and whereas there will be an estimated 418,451 new pancreatic cancer cases diagnosed worldwide in 2020, and whereas the good health and well-being of the residents of the borough of Glen Ridge, New Jersey are enhanced as a direct result of increased awareness about pancreatic cancer and research into early detection, causes, and effective treatments. And now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Stuart K. Patrick, Mayor of the Borough of Glen Ridge, with the advice and consent of the Borough Council, do proclaim November 17th as World Pancreatic Cancer Day in the Borough of Glen Ridge, New Jersey. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know whether anybody has really recognized the fact that there's some work going on around the Borough Hall. I think it's long overdue. We're putting in a sprinkler system. We're tearing out old shrubbery that is an eyesore. We're going to have some benches out there in the patio.
If I may, to address another comment that Peter brought up, the area where he talked about the stairway that was part of the original design, what we're going to be doing is constructing a plaza in memory of David Ginsburg, and then we're going to connect it with a walkway to the first landing at the municipal building. So by spring of next year, we will have that completed. So we'll have a continuity of the walkway between the two stairways.
So, in other words, I think that it's long overdue that we have the landscape looking as good as the building looks.
Yeah.
So I'm really pleased and happy that we've gotten to this point, and I'm looking forward to its completion. So with that, I have no more comments. Peter, have you got something for us this evening?
Mayor, I have resolution number 12116, be it resolved that the following claims and warrants be drawn for the same, and be it resolved that the Chief Financial Officer Treasurer of the Borough of Glen Ridge is hereby authorized to issue the payroll for the employees of the Borough of Glen Ridge for the pay date of October 24, 2016. Mayor, I move the resolution.
Thank you, Peter. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Paul. Any comments on? Then will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilperson Hughes.
Aye.
Lasovich.
Aye.
Lefkowitz.
Aye.
Dawson.
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays. The resolution is approved.
Mayor, I have a second resolution number 12216, whereas NJSA 40 provides the Director of the Division of Local Government Services may approve the insertion of any special item revenue in the budget of any county or municipality when such items shall have been made available by law and the amount thereof was not determined at the time of the adoption of the budget. And whereas the borough has received $10,139.13 from the state of New Jersey Solid Waste Administration. Now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and the council of the borough of Glen Ridge, County of Essex, New Jersey, hereby request the Director of the Division of Local Government Services to approve the insertion of an item of revenue in the budget for the year 2016 in the amount of $10,139.13. Be it further resolved that the borough clerk forward 2 certified copies of this resolution to the Director of the Local Government Services for approval. Mayor, I move the resolution.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
I will second.
Thank you, Paul. Any comments on the resolution? Then Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilperson Hughes.
Aye.
Pasovich.
Aye.
Lefkowitz.
Aye.
Dawson.
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays, the resolution is approved.
Thank you. Thank you, Peter. Paul?
Mr. Mayor, I have simply two ordinances tonight. The first one is one that we have redrafted based on, I think, mainly Dan and Anne Marie. Thank you for meeting with members of our chicken-owning public. But we, as a result of that, have agreed with them on the language in the ordinance. So I have the first reading, ordinance number 1647, amending Title VI, Animals in Glen Ridge, under our code.
You're moving the ordinance?
For first reading, yes.
Okay, can I have a second?
Second.
Okay,
Let it
thank you,
go.
Anne Marie. Is there any discussion among the members of the council on this particular ordinance?
I'd like to have it renamed the Chicken Murphy ordinance.
That might fly.
I think we're all comfortable with where we
Can I
are.
cry foul on that? Can I cry foul?
I wasn't at the last meeting where all the chicken
You
owners
missed a good meeting.
came and testified, but this appears to me to agree with the feedback that we got, so it seems like it wouldn't ruffle any feathers.
There we go.
Thank you. That's a
That's
line
terrible.
protection for that.
Who says we don't have fun? Well, seeing no further comments, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilperson Hughes.
Aye.
Pasovich.
Aye.
Lefkowitz.
Aye.
Dawson.
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays, the ordinance is passed on first reading.
I refer the ordinance to the municipal clerk for the purpose of statutory publication and posting.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, I also have ordinance number 1648 for first reading. This is simply an ordinance that will amend our stop sign law.
Thank you. Is there any comment on or questions on this particular ordinance? I'm sorry.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, there was a typo, actually it was a deletion. The purpose of this ordinance is twofold. One, to create stop intersections. The second is to amend the time limit parking regulations. In the 3-hour zone, residents could receive permits for contractors or for them to park over 3 hours in front of their residence. That ability was not, we did not have that regulation in the 2-hour parking areas, and that's generally around the Benton Street and hospital areas. So what this ordinance does is give the people in the 2-hour restricted parking areas the same rights as those in the 3-hour parking.
I thought we had done that already. Okay,
No, we
thank you,
didn't do that.
Michael. Yeah.
So actually, there's 2 parts in the advertised ordinance will be corrected to reflect the parking permit.
Okay.
Are there any further comments or questions on this particular ordinance? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
We need a second, Mr. Mayor.
I'll second.
A second. Okay, Councilperson Hughes.
Aye.
Pasovich.
Aye.
Lefkowitz.
Aye.
Dawson.
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays, the resolution is approved. The ordinance is approved on first reading.
Okay, I refer the ordinance to the municipal clerk for the purpose of statutory publication and posting.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Paul. David?
Mr. Mayor, I have no report this evening, other than to say that those of us on the library trustee board were very pleased to see the commencement of work in the new landscaping and outdoor furniture being placed in memory of David Ginsburg, who was so instrumental to the library board of trustees.
Yeah, that's good. I really enjoyed serving on that board. Art?
Okay, I don't have a formal report for Public Works, other than that we'll be doing leaf collection, according to the, protocol that's in place, that's in the, town website. All our equipment's up to date and, ready for any snowstorms that we get, and we've been, keeping track of any down branches and things like that. So we're in pretty good shape, I think, if for anything that happens. I'm going to offer ordinance number 1649 for first reading. This ordinance is an ordinance to appropriate capital improvement funds for various capital projects and equipment. So that's the ordinance that's offered for first reading, and proceed with that.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Peter. Are there any questions or comments on ordinance 1649? Seeing none, will clerk please call the roll?
Councilperson Hughes.
Aye.
Wasovich.
Aye.
Lefkowitz.
Aye.
Dawson.
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays. The ordinance is passed on first reading.
I refer ordinance 1649 to the municipal clerk for the purpose of statutory publication and posting.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Dan?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have Resolution 123-16. It's essentially providing with additional funds to pay for the additional work which needed to be done at Carteret Park. Whereas the Borough of Glen sought to make a grading and drainage improvements at Carteret, and the lowest bid, Turco Golf, came in at the amount of $299,000, although whereas throughout the course of the construction, additional demolition work, specifically the backstop on the east side, and additional drainage work were necessary, and the proposed change order has been reviewed and verified by the project engineer, and whereas the Chief Financial Officer has certified the availability of funds for this contract from Bond Ordinance 1612. Now therefore, it be resolved that a change order in the amount of $87,681.58 is hereby approved, bringing the total project to a cost of $386,681.58. Mr. Mayor, I offer this resolution.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Paul. Any comments or questions on this?
Comments. My comments are, here we are. We've spent quite a bit of money on Carteret Park, improving its drainage, and it seems to have held up a hell of a lot better than it did this time last year, where we had chronic drainage issues and really, really bad areas of wear and tear, especially in the goal areas. As you know, the park has been expanded so that we now have a separate area for the kids' soccer, which has alleviated some of the wear and tear. But still, having said all of that, this council person wishes that we had Hurrell Field turfed so that we wouldn't have had to spend this money, and it seems we're going to be spending money each and every year. Now, I'm not suggesting that we bring that dog back to life, but it is a little bit frustrating when we're throwing lots of money at these grass fields when we have sports programs in town that are wonderful, but we don't have the fields to support them. We do have the field surfaces, we just don't have the proper field surface.
I have one question. The change order, was this for work that we just didn't anticipate? Why wasn't this work included in the original scope of work and bid out competitively?
I wasn't involved with the nuts and bolts of the work. I did make specific recommendations, especially the removal of the
I thought
fencing.
the backstop was already going to be included in
Well,
it.
I thought so too, but evidently it was not in the original proposal.
Wasn't the scope of work?
No.
No. And I think some of the other areas, there was actually 5 different change orders. One was the backstop. The other was going on the existing drains and improving those, because the Army Corps had put in, this basically dealt with the eastern third of the field. The contractor, when he was on site, made a recommendation that we should probably restore the drains in the western portion. So that was about $25,000 worth of change order. Also, when he came on site, the area to be resodded was determined to be larger than when the engineer put it out. So those 3 factors were the biggest areas of the change order. And then finally, the drainage. There's problems in the field locating one of the interceptors, so we had a reverse drainage, and there was a little extra piping. So in essence, it was all additional work. The original scope, it wasn't over budget, but once on site and based on the conditions when the contractor came in, he had recommendations that the engineer didn't put in back when he bid the project out in the winter months.
Yeah, and we could have benefited from additional sod from either side, because we did up the middle, but the sides, you know, this can go on and on and on, and we have to put a stop to it somewhere. Got a lot of criticism for not having sodded the north and south sides of the field. And it looks like we're gonna have to do it anyway, but it just, you know, bumping up this budget another $50K is just, at this time, kind of irresponsible. But in retrospect, we probably should have did it anyway. So, there you go. Look, I'm not happy about it. It could be better. I wish the folks that use the field cleaned up after themselves. I mean, I was out there on Monday morning cleaning up water bottles, and it seems like it is every single Monday morning. And we've reached out to the coaches, and to the kids, and to the parents, and just say, hey, you know, treat this field as if it's your own backyard, because
It is.
it is really, and it's unacceptable. We're doing our part. All we're asking for you to do is pick up your trash. It seems impossible for them to do that, so we can only hope. Plug it up myself.
I know it's frustrating, and you have to really think about what we can do to correct that.
Well, Dan, hopefully, I'm hopeful that we will not have to do what was done for year after year after year when we used Carteret Field, when we had all of our volunteer people and our teachers just trying to move the dirt around, get rid of the water that's there, sweep it away.
Oh, the drainage is working wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah. We don't have a problem. We do have a blight at Harrell now, which has effectively done a better job of destroying grass than football players. So now down the middle of Harrell Field, that's going to be needing sodding after the logger room next June. So it's a never-ending cycle, and it's a lot of money that we're putting into these grass fields, which simply don't hold up because we have to play on them when they're wet. When they're wet, it tears the grass apart, and the grass doesn't grow back as quickly as we'd like it to. So, there you go. That's all I have for you, Mr. Mayor.
That's enough, thank you.
Yeah.
You're not sucking me in.
Jeff Theodora, where are you?
Thank you, Dan. Anne Marie?
Do we need to vote on this?
Yeah, did we,
Yes,
is there something we need to vote on?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I thought we voted on it.
I think we voted.
Sorry, I don't think we voted on that.
No, we didn't. We had a second. It stopped at the second, and then,
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm moving too fast
yeah,
here.
no, there was no. Councilperson Hughes?
Aye.
Lasovitz?
Aye.
Leftwich?
Aye.
Dawson?
Aye.
Murphy?
Aye.
Morrow?
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays. The resolution is approved.
Okay, now.
Yeah. Mr. Mayor, I have ordinance number 1642 for first reading, an ordinance amending Title 17 of the Glen Ridge Code by amending the existing provisions of Title 17.8 zones and zoning maps. By way of background, Mr. Mayor and Council, this ordinance was introduced for first reading earlier this summer. The Council, upon discussion, referred the ordinance back to the Planning Board to review issues relating to the number of non-conforming lots that might be created as a result of this. I guess I should backtrack a little bit more just for further background. This ordinance initially came about through residents of the community who had requested that the zoning lot widths on Ridgewood Avenue be reviewed so that they follow the natural, I guess, streetscape, if you will. The existing 85-foot lots would be extended to 100 feet, and a section that on the south end of town, a new zone would be created of 125 feet. Over a period of several months and many meetings and public hearings in 2015, the Planning Board reviewed the zoning issue and the lot width requirements. Mr. Zacchelli and Mr. Rohal prepared a very lovely color-coded map that detailed every lot size on the Ridgewood Avenue strip. So that's, I guess, by way of background. And then in June, when we considered it, there were questions raised regarding the number of the number of non-conforming lots that may result from this ordinance. A committee of the planning board did review the number of lot widths and brought in the planning board's attorney to review the matter as well. And as a result, it was determined that there are currently 92 non-conforming lots, and this change would result in an additional 12. Planning board attorney, Mr. Tremulak, reviewed the concern as to any additional adverse impact on marketability. It was determined that, in his opinion, that there would be none. There were no additional contract disclosures that would be required. However, he did recommend that we reword the ordinance to make it expressly clear that where there is an existing dwelling that is conforming on a non-conforming lot, the dwelling may be altered, added to, rebuilt, provided the rebuild conforms to building height and setback requirements. In other words, making it clear that alterations on a non-conforming lot would be permitted. We also agreed to rework the disclosure in the event that this does move forward, the disclosure that would be mailed out in terms of the publication and the notice to residents affected by the change. I don't know, did I miss anything?
I think that was very comprehensive.
No.
And
So we're
so I-
specifically
so-
going to advise the 12...
Yes, we're going to advise, the next move would be for this to go back to the planning board, and then we would then be required to introduce it again for public hearing and the publication and notification to affected residents. We also decided to make it clear that those that would have those 12 residents or lots that would be non-conforming would get a specific notice of that. So we would rework the disclosure as well, in case anyone has questions.
And if they make, upon notice, if they make application, they're grandfathered in. Is that correct?
They wouldn't need to make application with the language that Mr. Tremulak has proposed. The owner of any non-conforming lot has the same rights as conforming.
Same rights as, yes.
So that was the whole idea of the new language,
Yeah,
is that the rights are the same for both non-conforming and conforming.
Yeah,
lots.
the old statute was a bit unclear. It seemed to only apply to properties that
Built before 1963.
Before 1963.
What was the distinction is between a non-conforming use and a non-conforming?
Non-conforming lot is that dimensionally the lot, in this case, width, is under. A non-conforming use is the use, let's say, of commercial use in a residential zone. If it's transferred and another business goes in there, you have to determine if it's a like use. Also, there's a period of abandonment if you have a non-conforming use and based on the municipality's different time periods. If you abandon that use, you abandon the non-conforming use. With a non-conforming lot, the use of that, or the right to build on that lot, carries forward. There's no abandonment period. Even if the house is destroyed or razed, you still have the same right to rebuild the house as long as you meet the setbacks, which the conforming lots have to meet the same setbacks. So basically, like I said before, you have the same rights, but non-conforming use is problematic, and usually a lot of times goes back to the zoning board to rehear to make sure that the new non-conforming use is the same as the old one.
So this really is an enhanced, there are enhanced protections for those 12
Correct. And,
Yes.
additional
and
non-conforming.
for the
lots.
record, 2 of the 12 are sitting at this table.
No, I know, I mean,
Yeah.
so, I think, while I know that it was awkward
There's only
to
six
send
for
it
the
back.
record.
No,
The 2 but we've been notified.
No, I mean, I think it was a good thing to send it back. So
Yeah.
I think it was a good thing to send it back. I think the end result is the ordinance as amended will be much clearer.
Yeah.
And I think it required us to do our homework as well in terms of what's non-conforming now. There's quite a bit, and evidence is those properties have changed hands even though they are non-conforming. So
Yeah, we sent it back because we were concerned we would be prejudicing innocent people by the passage of the content of the ordinance at that point in time.
Yeah, and I think there were
Now-
just questions, just factual questions as to what, you know, what is the net result, so.
Most of those non-conforming uses were physicians' offices that were in their house, right?
That's correct. And either that or receive variances, but the physician office is probably the biggest, non-conforming. And that-
Carriage houses too.
Well, carriage houses are built before a certain year, so that's, yeah, the non-conforming use is very specific in our ordinance with carriage houses. They have to be occupied since a certain time.
What about horses?
Horses are still allowed, no.
I have nothing, oh, I guess we need to,
Are you moving the ordinance?
yes, I'm moving for first reading.
Do I have a second, please?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Dan. Any further comments or questions on the ordinance? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Hughes.
Yes.
Lisovich.
Aye.
Lefkow.
Aye.
Dawson.
Aye.
Murphy.
Yes.
Morrow.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays. The ordinance is passed on first reading.
I refer ordinance number 1642 to the municipal clerk for the purpose of statutory publication and posting.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
I guess we're down to, any comments of the administrator or
Yes, I
department
have
heads?
two, Mr. Mayor. Even though we received notice from the Department of Transportation that the municipal aid projects would go forward, it's too late in the year to restart the project that we had underway, meaning that the reconstruction of Douglas, Marston, and Washington Street will be postponed until the spring. And it's too late to put out for bid our next project, which would have been Edgewood, Cambridge, and Herman Street. So that will also be put off to the spring. Even though we got to go ahead, practically it's impossible for us to move forward on those projects. Second item, even with the inclement weather, we had a record turnout for our Glen cleanout this past Saturday. My thanks to Girl Scout Troop 264, the Girls Club of Glen Ridge, and especially Phi Theta Kappa from the chapters from both Union and Essex colleges. They sent 40 student volunteers to help with the cleanup, and they were extremely thorough. So my thanks once again to that fraternity. That's the academic honor fraternity for 2-year colleges. It's similar to Phi Theta Kappa for 4-year colleges. So
Very nice.
It was a really great turnout. And that's it.
John?
I have no comments, Mayor.
Lieutenant?
Yes, I have some comments, Mr. Mayor. First, the Glen Police Department will be participating in No Shave November again this year. Last year, members donated to raise funds for the Senior Foundation, so we're looking forward to that again this year. And then the second is that the prescription medication drop box was unveiled on Friday in the lobby of police headquarters with great success. We're really hoping to move forward helping residents dispose of unwanted prescription medications. So thank you for that.
Very good, thank you.
Lieutenant, a resident in town was recently grazed by an automobile on Midland Avenue. Do you have any information on that, as to where that occurred? And I'm sure it was a case of excessive speed on Midland.
So, Mr. Councilman, we do have the report for the motor vehicle strike. It was occurred in front of 9 Midland Avenue, I believe. A resident Lowell lives on Midland Avenue. He was walking to his vehicle when he was grazed by the side view mirror of a vehicle that was passing northbound, I believe, at the time. Further details will be at this moment, but I can certainly get them to you, no problem.
Not 9 Midland, I'm making the assumption that the car was he traveling west or north or south?
North, sir,
North.
towards Carteret Street.
So he was coming from Orange into Glen Ridge.
That is my understanding, yes.
And so, but he would have to stop at Carteret, but this is well before that stop sign.
Correct, yes, yeah. So 2 Midland is the last house in town.
Or the first house in town.
Or the first house, depending how you look at it. If the vehicle was traveling north, which is my understanding, he would have to stop at Carteret and Midland Avenue, which is the area of 25 to 28 Midland, is my recollection.
Yeah, it was brought to my attention, and certainly folks would like to see, as we have done on the rest of that street, Midland, to some really great degree of success during Mayor Hughes's term. But perhaps maybe taking a look at a speed bump and a sign that says "Welcome to Glen Ridge, speed limit 25," might slow traffic down that's coming into the borough.
Absolutely.
Did the guy get hurt?
No, he got grazed. Pissed off.
But are you-
But I don't think, and I don't think he got the
Did he get
license
a
plate.
license
I
number?
doubt they did.
No, he did not. It was reported several hours after the incident occurred to us as well. He did have a description of the vehicle, but it was rather vague.
He did have a lot of nice things to say about the Glen Police Department, though. For positive feedback for you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's all I got.
This is the time for comments of the public again, if anybody would like to be heard again, or for the first time. All right.
Virgil here is next week. Are you a senior? He's a senior in Glen High School. And that's why I'm of mixed mind, because at the bottom of my street where I've lived for 40 years now, roughly, last summer, because of the curb cut, this was where I ran a paper route when I was a kid. I didn't realize I walked off in the street, but his mother, her name, Hero, and his older brother, Oscar, I met them and I talked to them. I just had a great interaction with them, whatever. And all I'm going to say is that come Thanksgiving, I heard something horrible had happened in Paris, and I knew his mother was from Paris. And I don't listen to the news because I don't contaminate my mind with what the thugs are doing to each other out there. But I thought, he hasn't heard this yet. I thought, well, his mother might know someone. She may be feeling bad. It was Thanksgiving, so I made her a pumpkin pie and brought it to her. Just say, I don't know if she knew anyone. I kind of don't want to know, but I was just saying welcome to America, whatever. And but it had a great investment, if you want to think of it that way, because since then she's been. Now I get the feeling the whole family is patrolling my block to make sure I'm safe. Not only. Like I was walking down the street, she called out to me. She saw me and spotted me because I was like in the middle of the street again, inadvertently, and then Virgil walked me home the other day. That's when we walked across Argyle. I didn't know it. I said, shouldn't we be coming up on Argyle? He said, we passed it. He let me know. I wouldn't have known because I was escorted. There was no curb. But I said, okay, well, it's nice to have a good Samaritan. He's a good Samaritan. And just last night, I was walking up on Highland, and because of the leaves, I was like, I must be at Argyle now. I'm walking toward Argyle, and I stood there like, what should I do? Where am I? Should I call for an escort? Should I call? But his father was walking in a dog gate, and so I took his arm. So like his family are the good Samaritans. I'm wondering if that's what my life is going to be now. That if I have to go around my whole neighborhood and just knock on their doors and say, here's where I am. This used to be my neighborhood. I live here now, but I'm trying to survive here as well. And so please look out for me. Don't let me wander in the street offering me help. Maybe that's what my life has to be from now on, because the do-gooders have destroyed my curb and my landmark. But it's allowed me to meet wonderful people like Virgil's family. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you.
Paradox.
Okay. David, do you have a motion for us?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I move that we adjourn this meeting.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned.